Hello, everyone. Here we are with Matthew Uber, the master of sales at Spinwheel, the owner, the founder. And up to you, Matthew. You have the floor. Let us know your story, and then we will jump into other things as well.
Yeah, I mean, pretty unimpressive story, I would say. I mean, look, coming through school, I was always the kid who probably underperformed. Coming through school, I didn't take the traditional path of going into any type of further education. I went straight into the workforce. The thing I think that I could probably thank my parents for more than anything is that instilled a very hard work ethic. And I think that work ethic has driven me to ultimately become the guy that I am today. I've been doing sales for over 20 years. Started at the bottom, like I think everybody in sales did and has. And through hard work, dedication, and a student mentality, I've been able to kind of organically grow my career through performance-based aspects. And as I had an opportunity to start teaching, developing, and coaching people in a management and leadership role, I think that's really where I kind of hit my stride with my purpose. And once I found the value of making people around me better instead of just myself, I really took a passion and maybe even a level of obsession around that. I did it for many, many years in the corporate world, found it personally limiting in regards to the impact that I could make. And that was kind of the driving factor of me going out, creating my original business idea was to do a sales academy. Found so often that the kids and the young people that I would train and develop, as I helped them find a job in their career, those companies ultimately wanted to hire me and bring me in. And that's kind of how I evolved into doing a lot of consulting, and kind of after many, many evolutions to my business over the years, kind of evolved to be where we are today at Spinwheel.
Nice. I love that story. It resonates very well. In terms of the way that is right now, I remember you mentioning that there's some avenues or there's some directives that you're pushing after. In fact, there's a BDC foundation you have mentioned in the past with in your on LinkedIn. It's called Spinwheel BDC. So I would love maybe to talk about the solutions that you're pushing right now, and then I'll ask you something about sales as well. But let's start with that. That's the most curious thing that can drive my mind.
Yeah, I mean, so I've got basically 3 different branches to Spinwheel as a company. As I said, Spinwheel started off as a consulting business. My first iteration of that, which kind of ties back to my own background of teaching, training, developing kind of like entry-level salespeople. And I firmly believe in my whole business built on a standard of everybody starts at the ground level and then you grow organically within. And the 3 years that I've run my business, we've been able to develop more than a dozen leaders homegrown organically from an entry-level role within our team. So we've got an SDR team, we've got a BDC team, and we've got a real estate team. So I've got a business partner on our business called Spinwheel Assist, where we focus on providing highly trained, successful virtual assistants, utilizing nationalized and global talent to be able to offer high-level, high-skilled virtual assistants for people who are in the real estate wholesale industry. One of the clients I obtained about a year ago is a large car dealership in the California area who wanted me to build a homegrown business development center for their car dealership group. And so the BDC iterated originally with us, kind of servicing a custom-built BDC for that client. And we've been able to evolve that into a full-fledged business where we provide an outsourced BDC to people in the automotive space. I have over 15 years of automotive experience. Most of my sales has been in automotive. So that's kind of been an easy aspect. And most of the time in automotive, it was building SDR and sales teams for vendors selling to dealerships. So the third wing and the kind of the foundation of my business practice is the SDR and the staffing model we do for sales teams.
Nice. So maybe that takes into the next question, which is the speed to lead. Like if there's, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but if there's one industry that thrives into speed to lead, would be 100% one of the top 3 would be the car dealer. So that being said, the aggressiveness, the follow up, the push for an SDR perspective into the leads that are coming into a car dealer is going to be a different game than other industries. So with that, there's AI coming into play. How are you guys leveraging? I think you mentioned that on top of the expertise. So you have the AI to provide some assistance as well.
Yeah, so we currently don't have anything to do with AI, but a big part of our future, and I would say something that we have rolling out in the next 90 days is a heavy portion of AI. First, I think the first step of the AI integration will be to supplement the sales team. And I think eventually the inevitable truth is that AI will ultimately replace most of us as front-facing salespeople. So for me, it was kind of like ignore what's coming or embrace it and learn it, at least apply my personal learned experiences into the AI, and I can offer a level of distinction in that sense. But to your point in regards to any inbound lead business, whether that's in the automotive space or any business, I would tell you one of the things that is probably, if not the most, one of the most important things, which is how fast can you see the lead, respond to the lead, and reach out to that lead. In the automotive industry, a statistic, when I heard it, blew my mind, was that if you're unable to connect with the customer within 5 minutes that the lead came in, that lead is gone 65% of the time. So you have a 5-minute window to be doing everything that you might be doing within your role as a salesperson, to see a lead come in, analyze it, read it, pick up the phone, make that call, and make the connection in the 5 minutes. So there's a lot of different steps that we take in our BDC that ensure a higher level of connection in that 5 minutes.
Yeah, and maybe to add into that, I think the KPIs that you provided are going to go even higher, because when running ads, all these car dealers are running an ad, and Facebook knows that they are running an ad, and there's a person that opts in. So in a user experience perspective, the person that opted in is going to receive similar ads like this one with AI, because they are, this person is a person that's looking for a car. Let me show you them 10 more ads. Speed to lead, who gets the lead, who gets the deal, the first one to come up with an appointment, the first one to follow up, the first one to engage, and what have you. So to your point,
to add to that, though, because I think that the thing that you kind of touched on, but we didn't take it all the way there, which is, as we talk about the evolution of AI integrated into there, what AI will be able to do is eliminate any wait in time. Like what and I've consulted with a couple of AI companies today under how they should build the AI for the BDC world, which is you actually need to create a little bit of false wait time, because the system actually is too fast in that the lead can come in, it can read and analyze the aspect, and within 30 seconds have a phone call to the customer. And that's a little bit like freaky fast, to where you actually have to have to learn that control of, maybe I should wait 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes, still effectively getting to that lead fast, but not so fast it's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. That being said, how does that play into the real estate? As you've mentioned that you have the 3 divisions, real estate, SDR, BDC. How does that play your experience and the things that you have done on the speed to lead? How does that play in other industries at the moment on your perspective?
For me, the speed to lead side doesn't play a part on the real estate side at all, because it's all outbound. It's all proactive outbound, and it's completely cold calling in regards to what we do from the real estate side. So it's never a lead gen. It's never anything of that nature. It's completely outbound. Now, in regards to the AI side, that's where we envision our AI solution that we're developing ourselves internally at Spinwheel. That's where we see it having the most immediate need and the most full service adoption. I think that one of the problems we anticipate having in the dealership world is, for anybody who's been in that space, we have to know that the dealership world is slow to respond. They're not quick with technology. They're a little old school across the way. So AI is something I envision most dealerships, and even the customer of the dealerships, will be a little at risk to and a little bit hesitant on. So where we see our biggest opportunity to implement the AI tool that we're developing is going to be in our real estate business first.
Got it. In terms of where can people follow you, ask you questions, review what you're doing? You have a podcast as well. I wanted to also make sure that people will know about it. So we'll put all the links in our recording so that they can see you. So BDCRX is the podcast.
Yep.
And then is the best way LinkedIn so that they can reach out to you.
Yeah, look, I'm across all social. I mean, I'm pretty much putting myself out there. It was something that I was very, very resistant to, I would say, the majority of my corporate career. And it's something over the past 6 months I've leaned into heavily. So yeah, me and my business partner, we created a podcast called Ground Up. And then I created another podcast with a bunch of other kind of selected partners in the BDC world to offer a different perspective of me, the guy who does consulting and runs an outsourced BDC. The first 12 episodes I did with another major in-store consultant. Now I've converted with a much larger outsourced BDC company, and kind of interchange the guest in that regard. But we tend to have on decision makers at the store to kind of get 3 different perspectives. And it's been a really great learning experience for me. And yeah, LinkedIn's probably my most prevalent professional place you can find me, but you can find me with the same Matt Huber, any of the social medias. I'm everywhere. Perfect.
Let's go back into the sales experience, which is one of the assets that you master. There's the school of consultative approach. There's a Wolf of Wall Street and the rebuttals and things like that. So how's Matt? Like, what's the approach that you have and embrace at the moment?
A couple of things that I teach, like core concepts for me when I teach sales. First off, I teach that everything is within your control. And if it's not in your control, why emphasize it? Why focus on it? So for me, the core principles of teaching is success or lack thereof is always back to your pitch, your pace, or your attitude. So from a coaching perspective, when I'm doing coaching with any of my reps, I'm always focusing on, can we say the words better? Can we talk to more customers? Or is the attitude what's holding us back or what's making us successful? In regards to my sales approach, I definitely think that my advantage I have is the way I ask questions and how I ask questions to attempt to let a customer kind of explain to me what they want. And then I try to take more of a solution-based sale based off of the questions that I, in theory, tried to lead them down a path towards what I already knew I can solve. Getting them to admit that need is the biggest way I can provide a solution.
Got it. I felt that the industry is changing a little bit in my perspective, where before it was like, the pressure, the rebuttals, the things like that. But I think some of the plays, I bought an SUV a month ago, and they were also almost embracing opening with, hey, there's not going to be any pressure in this dealership. And both dealerships that I went, they both said the same thing. So I'm like, there's something going on here. Like, people are tired of being sold. People are tired of being followed up and whatever. So I think your approach is going to be even more powerful, since you're helping and you're listening actively and making sure that the solution that you have is what they need, not just trying to answer whatever and overcome rebuttals and those things.
Look,
right?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think overcoming objections is a key part to sales, but you have to overcome an objection without the customer feel like they're in a fight.
Exactly.
Right? It's how do you overcome the objection? So we use a technique called listen, acknowledge, make a statement, ask a question. We teach the control of the conversation is how you are going to be rewarded with a sale at the end. But yeah, like in an elevator pitch for our BDC, it's like, hey, I saw you just submitted a lead on this BMW X5. Beautiful vehicle. My job here is to make this process as simple and as smooth as possible. A couple questions for you. First question I have for you: what has you in the market? And my intention behind any sale is to be able to extract as much information before the customer sales wall goes up. Because as soon as I give the impression I am selling, we have to know the simple honest reality is that every customer wants to buy something, but nobody wants to be sold. And so as soon as they feel like they're being sold, their guard will go up. And now you're in a position where you're having to overcome objections, right? But as long as you're asking questions and you're coming off as a way that just trying to see if you have something you can offer to help, that's the thing. Now, in the automotive industry, it's even more important because, as we know, and a lot of dealerships want to act like this isn't the truth in today's world, but just this past year, another survey came out in what are the most untrusted professions that you trust in America. And car dealerships are still third most untrusted profession in America. I mean, it's only behind lobbyists and the media are the only two things that are less trustworthy in our country. So you got politics and you got media. Like, that's kind of like globally the two things that people trust the least. And then right behind that's car dealerships. So when you can do what you can to minimize the guard, that's kind of the where I find people will be able to find the most success.
Yeah, I totally agree. And sometimes, like, maybe with your perspective, more and more people become more knowledgeable before they engage with a dealer, because they have done so much research. They have more tools now to get research done for them as well. So now they go, oh, I want an Explorer ST, whatever. So they might know a little bit more than even the sales rep is knowing about. So some people call them like the order takers. In a way. So they don't want to be sold. And your point of, yes, as soon as we have the guard up, like, it's so hard for us to respond to messages. And just like 100%. So I was just furiously taking notes into the pitch pain attitude and the things that you have on your courses and your trainings. What do you, just to maybe close it up with super high valuable, what would you say are the most let me go back for a second. Okay. So sometimes people think that what they're doing or the way that they are selling is the way to go because they have some KPIs, whatever. But how do they know that they are not where they need to be, or how do they know that they would need Matthew's help in terms of enhancing their teams or the sales KPIs? Like, that might be one thing that will be super valuable. How to know those KPIs, or how to know a signal of me needing help from Matt and his team.
Yeah, look, I mean, first I would tell you is that a lot of the customers I meet with don't even know their ideal customer profile. A lot of the customers have no clue what their law of averages and metrics should be. So step one is, do you know that? And if not, how are you going to determine that? And not what yours is, but what should it be? And so being able to uncover industry standards on those things, if you don't have experience doing that, it's hard for you to determine what it is without the years of experience of knowing what good looks like. Secondarily, I think that most people know when they're making enough sales or they're not. And so at the end of the day, if you know you're not making enough sales, or you could be making more sales, then you should seek help. And I'm not saying seek me as help. There's hundreds of people who can help you in that space and in that industry. I think that where I specialize in is I have been a guy who's sat in almost every seat in the sales business, from inside the dealership to inside the vendor side. I've been an SDR. I've been an account executive. I've been a regional manager. I've been a vice president of sales, and I've now been a CEO and a founder for the past many years. So I've sit in almost every seat, and I've sit in those seats at a very, very highly successful rate. So you're not asking somebody who can't do what they would be showing you and teaching you what to do. And I think for me, never follow somebody that can't walk a day in your shoes. And I'm confident there's not many shoes that I can't walk a day in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, love it. And I would love to also mention that you said something at the beginning, which was the performance based. So that's very important to the point that you make right now. So with that, is there anything else you want to share with in terms of the future? What predictions do you have for the? I think you already touched on it, which was replacement of roles, enhancing roles with AI. What's your prediction for the following 3, 4 years, 5 years?
Man, I mean, I would love the answer to, I would love for me to be wrong when I make this prediction, but I think that within 5 years, I think that AI will be probably replacing 80% of the jobs that we know today. Now, I think that will ultimately create a significant more amount of jobs. I saw something yesterday on the news that blew me away, that Google is finally admitting that their market share in regards to their traffic is cut drastically because the innovation of AI and people using AI to do a lot of the searches that we used to go to Google, who dominated that space with. And so even organizations like Google are going to have to shift, and they're going to have to adjust because all of us are doing that. So I think that, AI, there's going to be good and there's going to be a lot of bad out there for many, many years. And I think it all comes down to who programs it and what to program in it. And that's going to be the difference there. So from a sales team perspective, if you have somebody programming the AI who's never been a successful seller, that probably won't be a successful AI tool to be able to execute sales. So there is still going to be a need for people who've done it to be able to program in it and to teach it and to instill in it. But I think it'll be few and far between where you're actually seeing people being the front end of the hospitality side of sales, which will be kind of what sales will become.
Yeah, 100%. And yes, we have seen it. Like people are finding people or businesses in GPT. Imagine this play. Like if you go to Google, you have like a massive amount of options. You have the sponsor, you have this, you have that. In GPT, Perplexity, you just have 1-2 options at the top. But GPT has been helping you so much that you're going to trust the tool and say, okay, if this tool is telling me that this is the best, whatever, I'm going to trust it. And then I'm going to go and call them. And yes, we have clients that have said that they have been found with a GPT search.
I heard this thing the other day too, and it's important for everybody to just grapple with this. AI will never be worse than it is today. This is the worst iteration of AI for the history of AI. It will only get better. And this is step one of ChatGPT. 3-5 years from now, it will have built and duplicated on its growth 100 times over in these next 3 years because it learned from itself. It creates better resources. I think another step I would say in the evolution before we even get to AI, and I've seen the turn in this, and a big part of my business is this, which is the utilization of global talent and understanding that your limitation of your city, your town, your state, or even your country is truly that. It's a limitation. I have employees. I have over 80 employees that work for me, and I have probably employees in over 40 different countries. And the level of access to talent that is available to you as a business person, as a person who maybe needs more sales, and for what you get for the money is irreplaceable. I was a guy that for the first almost every part of my career only used and hired American people, and though American people are great, I'm American, okay? But when I unlocked the access to people and some of these talented people in Latin America and in these African countries, man, the English is indistinguishable to us Americans. The work ethic, the need, the demand, the enthusiasm, the passion is undeniably, in my experience, only mine, has been significantly better because there's a lot less sense of entitlement accessing the global pool and a lot more competition. Remove the money side in the cost savings that you could do by accessing talent outside of the country. You actually have more hungry talent who's ready to do what it takes to survive. And I've not seen that over the past 5 to 6 years leveraging American talent. I see a lot of entitlement. I see a lot of lazy. I see a lot of people who want a lot of money for not a lot in return.
Amen, brother. So I also have in our company, I think it's 95% of talent it's outside and 100% with you on that one. So with that, Matt, I will thank you for your time, which is the most valuable asset. And yeah, let's people embrace AI and take action into what Matt provided us today. Yeah, we'll be in touch. Thank you, Matt.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Thank you.